Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Recha Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Exodus, the 27th chapter, as the Lord continues to shew Moses and instruct him in the way in which to design, right, and build the tabernacle, the altar, and all the things that are needed for the service of the Lord. This is Exodus 27:1, and thou shalt make an altar of shittim wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad. The altar shall be 4 square, and the height thereof shall be 3 cubits. And thou shalt, so basically the altar is going to be in a square form, right? Like a box square. And thou shalt make the horns of it upon the 4 corners thereof. His horns shall be of the same, and thou shalt overlay it with brass. So I pulled up an image here, and once again, this is just a depiction here. But as you can see, you have it's like a square form, and you have the horns that are on the 4 corners of the altar. And when it says here, his horn shall be of the same, meaning it's going to be built into it, right? It's part of one piece. And thou shalt overlay it with brass, and thou shalt make his pans to receive his ashes. So basically like bins to where all the ashes would be gathered in, because you'd be burning things on this altar. And so you needed a way to collect the ashes. And his shovels and his basins, and the basins would be used for, holding the blood or any form of liquid in there. And his flesh hooks, which was like a fork with three mouths or 3 teeth. And this was used for handling the actual meat. And his fire pans, which would be holding, like the coals and so on. And all the vessels thereof thou shalt make of brass. And thou shalt make for it a grate of network of brass. And upon the net shalt thou make 4 brazen rings in the 4 corners thereof. So if we go back and look at this example, this is that net design, and on it you have the rings where you would put the staves. That's why you have this little mesh looking part over here, which also allows air to go through and keep that fire burning. So you could fan the flames by blowing air through the sides. Verse 5, and thou shalt put it under the compass of the altar, the compass being the edge, the top edge. So the design, that meshed part would be in the middle, right? As it says beneath, that the net may be even to the midst of the altar. So that's why you can see you have the horns at the top, and you have this solid section. Then in the middle part of it, you have the net or the mesh-like design. And thou shalt make staves of for the altar, staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with brass. And the staves shall be put into the rings, and the staves shall be upon the 2 sides of the altar to bear it. So this would be how they would be able to carry the altar. So that way they didn't necessarily have to touch the altar directly. Hollow with boards shalt thou make it, as it was shewed thee in the mountain, so shall they make it. And when you go into that word boards, it goes into planks. So that would be like the tools or the material according to the specific design that the Lord required them to make it. And this would be the wilderness version of it, because we know later on King Solomon ends up building a more solid version, right? A house unto the Lord. But this was for the tabernacle that was with them in the wilderness, and also in the land of Israel up until the time when the Lord decided to allow David through Solomon to build it. Verse 9, and thou shalt make the court of the tabernacle. So now we covered the actual holy place and the Holy of Holies, right? And the design for that. And then also the altar. And this out here is the altar of sacrifice, where you would do the burnt offerings, gift offerings, meat offerings, so on and so forth. But you also have the court, which is this outer part right here. Okay. And that's what the Lord is about to describe, that is the way to set it up. Now, so it says, and thou shalt make the court of the tabernacle for the south side southward. There shall be hangings for the court of fine twined linen of 100 cubits long for one side. So the southward side, which would be this side right here, all right, would be, as you can see, the hangings and the length, we said, I think it was 100 cubits or so. And 20 pillars thereof, and 20 sockets shall be of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver. So you had the different pillars here, and you needed the hooks because that's how you would connect the or the hooks and the fillets, because that's how you would connect the hangings to the pillars. Okay, and each of these pillars, you know, unlike the way the sockets were designed for the actual tabernacle itself, which had 2 sockets per pillar. This one, you know, it was just 1 socket per pillar. It says, and likewise for the north side in length there shall be hangings of 100 cubits long, and his 20 pillars and their 20 sockets of brass, the hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. So the same design would be on the north side, which is here. So it's symmetric or parallel. Verse 12, and for the breadth of the court on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their sockets 10. So this side back here, okay, you would have 10 pillars, and the length of the hangings would be 50 cubits. So that's about half of the south and was it the western part? Yeah, southward. Okay, there you go. Where we at? Cool. So on the back, which here is described as like the west side of it, this would be the design. And the breadth of the court on the east side, eastward, shall be 50 cubits. The hangings of one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. So that's talking about the entrance now here, right? So here you would have the 3 pillars, 1, 2, 3, right? And then you would have because this is the entrance or the gate, and then you would have the hangings over there, and then the sockets where the hangings will go in. And on the other side shall be hangings 15 cubits, their pillars 3, their sockets 3. So it's same on the right side, same on the left side. And in the middle is where you would have the gate or the entrance. And for the gate of the court shall be an hanging of 20 cubits of blue and purple and scarlet, and fine twined linen, wrought with needlework, meaning it is made, right? It's knitted. And their pillars shall be 4, and their sockets 4. So if we look at this depiction here, you can see this would be that description right here, and you have, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have this one in the middle here. So these are this is once again just a depiction, a close depiction of what it probably would have looked like, just to give you an idea to help visualize the measurements and stuff that you're reading. Where we at? Verse 17, and the pillars round about the court shall be filleted with silver, their hooks shall be of silver, and their sockets of brass. I'll read this in the NLT as well. All the posts around the courtyard must have silver rings and hooks and bronze bases. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, and the breadth 50 everywhere, and the height 5 cubits of fine twined linen, and their sockets of brass. All the vessels of the tabernacle in the service thereof, and all the pins thereof, and all the pins of the court shall be of brass. And so that's like the pegs, the part under the pillar that would go into the socket. That's what that's referring to there. And that's going to be made of brass. Verse 20, and thou shalt command the children of Israel that they bring thee pure oil olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamp to burn always. Okay, so this is basically, olive oil for the candlestick. All right, and when you look that up, let me see. I think it was, how was olive? I like the AI overview for this one. Olive oil used to or used for light in the Bible. Okay. So it says in the Bible, olive oil was the primary fuel for lamps used to create light in homes, and most importantly for the menorah in the tabernacle. This pure beaten oil fueled wicks in small clay lamps, providing essential light from dusk till dawn, and its steady burn represented spiritual endurance. Cool. Now there were a couple of use cases for this. I did see a AI overview that kind of covered it pretty well, but from what I recollect there, when it says here the pure olive oil beaten, meaning it's pressed, right? Like what they would use is something called a mortar, which is like a small bowl like structure where they would put the olives in and they would sort of crush it, and this would allow them to extract the liquid of the olives and separate that from the residue before pressing it, so they could get pure oil. And the pure olive oil would be able to burn longer, and it would be cleaner, right? It would also be a higher quality, so it wouldn't give you like that smoke, right? That say other types of oil might give you when you're burning it. Hence, this would be ideal for the setting of the holy place in the tabernacle, right? So as it says, the Lord commands them to bring this for the light, to cause the lamp to burn always. In the tabernacle of the congregation, without the veil, which is before the testimony, because that's where the candlestick would be, right? Because you had here the holy place, or the most holy, where the Ark of the Covenant or Ark of the Testimony was. And then you would have the veil here, which would be that entrance. And then you have the holy place, which is here. And here you have the candlestick, which would require that oil. And the way it would be used for light is they would pour the oil into like the cup at the top of the candlestick. And then they would place, like a wick, or like, some substance, right? Like a small piece of today it looks like a candle in there. And what it would do is it would absorb and pull the oil through its fabric, and then they would light it at the end, at the edge, okay, or the end. Let me see if I can find this here. Burning wick. There you go. Bible Times. That's what we're dealing with here. So it looks something like this, right? And so this, if I can find a better depiction, that would be superb. But I can't. So we'll deal with this. So this or this or this or this would be placed in the oil. And as it burns, because it soaks and pulls up the oil into its fabric, it can burn, right? And once you light it up, it'll continue to burn the wick, right? And as the wick burns, because the oil that is in it, it is basically giving you that light or that candlestick, candle light appearance. And then, depending on the type of wick or maybe the type of oil, it would burn slower or cleaner. So here you see you wouldn't have as much smoke because you're using the olive oil, or at least the beaten olive oil, so that nice purity. Anyway, it says here, verse 21, in the tabernacle of the congregation without the veil, so in the holy place, which is before the testimony, Aaron and his sons shall order it. When you go into that word order, it means they would basically be in charge of making sure that this candlestick or this light would be burning consistently. So they shall order it from evening to morning before the Lord Yahweh. It shall be a statute forever unto their generations, on the behalf of the children of Israel, because they would be the ones in this role, right, of serving the Lord. So it would be their job to keep this light burning throughout their generations, right? That is Aaron and his sons. And that brings us to the end of the book of Exodus, the 27th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kudash. And until next time, Shalom.